you say anything wrong, you just have to keep me here. Like, don't let me go home with them because I may not be back. I may be sent to the village the next day in a DHL box.
What about trans women?
I'm talking about the OG women, the one with wombs, not the Temu ones.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What type of gentleman was he?
French.
He was French. Well, that's your first problem.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Hello and welcome to Francis Foster Sorts Your Life Out, the show where I indeed sort your life out. And we always get somebody on. Normally it's a comedian to sort your life out because who better than a comedian? But we've got one better this time. It's our first ever female guest.
Am I actually?
Yes, you are. You are.
I'm also better than a comedian.
You are, but I mean, that's not saying a great deal, but I agree with you.
It is.
It's Esther Krakue. Hello.
Thank you. Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
And we were having a very interesting conversation off air about growing up with African parents, with Ghanaian parents, and especially parents' evening.
Yes, yeah, which I dodged, thankfully, by the grace of God. My parents were in a different country, and when they did come, which was twice, and my mum came to one, and my dad came to one with my mum when I was in Ghana. And I think the teachers could tell that I was nervous. I was like, just don't. If you say anything wrong, you just have to keep me here. Like, don't let me go home with them because I may not be back. I may be sent to the village the next day in a DHL box. So, I think that's what kept me in check. The threat of like going back to the village, which many people will tell you about.
You know, I taught a Ghanaian boy called Remy, and I always remember, really nice kid, Remy, actually. And I remember during parents' evening, you know what his dad said to me?
What?
Mr. Foster, you are allowed to beat my child.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. My mom used to call like my teachers in school. It's like, is she behaving? You know, if she's not behaving, you can beat her. This is obviously in Ghana.
Yeah.
When you can, like, I think she knew she couldn't say that. Yeah.
But I was teaching here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, you fucking beat him.
Yeah, because it shows you're being an attentive and investing teacher. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's how. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And so,
I'm glad things have changed.
How things have changed.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take questions from our audience in which you are going to give advice to them. Mm-hmm. We've got our audience, they've known you're coming on. They've given you some appropriate questions. And don't look at me like that.
I'm scared. I don't know how appropriate we're talking.
We're talking highly appropriate.
Okay.
And also as well, Esther, we have also got, we're also going to get your mum to come and do a little bit of advice.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think your mum would be perfectly placed.
Yes.
To advise these people.
Except she's not here, so we'll have to figure that one out.
But we're going to channel it through you.
Okay.
We could channel my mum. No. Shut up, no talk.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. What's your mum called?
Sandra.
Sandra. Okay.
Yeah. Sandra del Valle.
Sandra and Maggie.
No, not the Maggie.
No, and Maggie. My mom's Maggie.
No, your mom's Maggie.
Yeah, Sandra and Maggie.
Sandra and Maggie.
Maggie, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do it. All right.
Okay.
All right. So, Jack, let's have the first question. Dear Francis, I used to be proud of my career. Now as a stay-at-home dad, look at her face.
I didn't do anything.
I feel like I'm just orbiting my wife's world while she moves forward. I know I'm doing something meaningful, but why do I feel like I've disappeared?
This is not fair. Because on the one hand, I'm like, do what works for you. But on the other hand, when people say, oh, Esther, would you want your husband to be a stay-at-home husband? I'm like, the libido will never recover.
Why will the libido never recover?
Because I'm out in the world doing things. First of all, I'd actually like to be with my kids. Especially if they're a younger age, I think the children of a younger age are more demanding, and I think they need a skill set that women naturally bring to the table.
What about trans women? I'm
not even going to go into that. I'm talking about the OG women, the one with wombs and vaginas. Yeah, not the Temu ones. Yeah. Anyway, I know I'm doing something meaningful, but why do I feel like I've disappeared? Because your life's kind of on hold in a way, or like you're in a different phase of your life. Maybe speak to your wife about it. But I just, the thing is, I don't really think men should be stay-at-home dads in most circumstances. Especially if the kid's really, really
Stop
young.
being embarrassed.
I'm just saying, I don't think they should. I think it should be very unique circumstances when the wife makes so much money that it just doesn't make sense for him to like go to work when there needs to be someone with the kid. But it's just, Listen, if she meets that high-powered male executive at work,
What's going to happen?
things are going to happen. Things will happen. Oh my God, the chemistry will be off the roof.
Really?
Yes, it'll be spicy.
Why is it that... Why is it then that a woman does not find a stay-at-home dad? Why is it a woman doesn't go out to work, Esther, goes out to work, but then when she comes back, she doesn't see her husband slaving over a hot stove,
because
doing the dishes,
do you know what
being
it is?
a good dad? Why?
Do you remember sitcoms in the 90s before everyone was offended by everything?
Yes.
And the man would come home from work, he's being a bit cheeky, and he sees his wife bent over the oven, and he just smack her bum and be like, yeah, that's my bitch.
Yes.
Yeah, you become my bitch now. Because I come home and I watch you in your trousers and like you're bent over the oven, and I can just smack your bum. I can, because I'm the one making the money. What are you going to say? Stop it.
Yeah,
Sexual harassment.
but men might like that. I don't see, but why the loss of libido?
I can't, it's not really you're not my man. You're not my man. You're just like, my man.
Really? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it.
That may be a personal preference. Maybe some women might be really, really turned on by the idea of their husbands being stay-at-home dads. I don't know. But just for me, I'm like, you need to go out and do something.
Really?
Leave the house.
Leave the house.
Go. Even if it's to cheat. I'm joking. Don't cheat. Don't cheat on me, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I'm like, no, absolutely no. It's like you're breastfeeding. What are you doing?
So you couldn't do that. You couldn't find.
No, it's just not for me.
Is it not for you?
It's not for me.
What gives you the ick?
Maybe it's my upbringing. Like I swear to God, I don't think my dad changed a single nappy ever in my entire life. He just like, oh, he's smelling, yeah. And like that was very like my dad didn't change a single nappy. He's just not like he's always worked, and my mom's always like been with us.
So when you because you're going to get married soon, congratulations.
Thank you.
But when that happens, are you going to expect your husband to start changing nappies?
I mean, that's fine. Like, if it's just the two of us and we don't have outside help, yeah, I would appreciate it if he helps me in that way. But the ideal, I mean, look, because I live here, it's not like I have like my mom and like, all my cousins and family members, and, it's like I'm in Ghana where I have easy access to childcare. So of course, like he has to help me with that. But it's, it depends. If he's working all day and if the agreement is I stay home, then I don't expect him to come home and clean the house and change nappies and all of that.
Not at all.
I mean, if I'm really tired and he wants to help, they don't have to be firm and fast rules on this, but like,
So what should this gentleman do? He feels like he's disappeared.
I mean, I think maybe try and like either if you can't do anything part-time at all, if you can't work at all, I think try and just get more involved in your wife's life. Check out her colleagues, see who her boss is, how close she is to him. Just explore.
Do you think that would make it more liable for a woman to look over at another man?
Oh, absolutely not. I think that's immoral. But I just think you're creating conditions that are not conducive to like a prosperous marriage, or at least like a marriage where the sexual tension is off the roof, which is obviously not going to be constantly through the marriage. But I just think you're clearly taking on a role that many would see as a bit emasculating, or is traditionally a woman's role. And I think if you feel like you're not doing anything meaningful, maybe it's because maybe you don't, like after the childcare is done, maybe you don't have hobbies or activities or things that you do that you think are adding value to the world. I don't think you're connected with your masculinity.
Interesting. So he's not. So do you think this is what's going on here?
Yeah, he's not connected to his masculinity, and his wife is coming home smacking his ass while he's bent over the oven, and he's just like, I don't feel like a man.
Just smacking. So do you think it is tough though? Because what do you do if your wife is more successful than you at work or earns more money?
Well, it's fine. It's just you.
Is it though?
I mean, it depends what she does.
Go on.
I don't want to answer this.
Yes, you do. Come on.
Because I think we now live in a world where it's not. There are going to be times when women. I don't believe the gender pay gap is like a thing actually, but I do think there's some women that like if she's a lawyer, for example, and she's paid quite well, and you work at McDonald's. Usually that's sort of very realistic scenario because women who are lawyers don't tend to date men who are sales executive at McDonald's. However, if financially as a home, if it makes more sense for her to go to work, that's fine. But it's like it can't. This can't be the status quo. It can't be permanently like this. I think as much as we like to lie to ourselves, women like men of a certain status who feel like they're productive members of society, who they're like proud to show off.
Do you think that's what it comes down to?
I actually don't know this. I don't know the situation. I don't know what she does. I don't know if she deliberately tries to make him feel left out. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. But I'm just saying, a man as a stay-at-home dad, you're clearly taking on a very niche role. So just...
You're being so polite, and
I
know.
am. But I will say this: it's not for me. I can't do that. I can't go to work and then come back and look at your face. Or what have you? You haven't even breastfed. What are you doing in that house?
I've noticed you're going more African now.
No, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. I've honestly, the concept of a stay-at-home dad, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
It's very foreign and new to me.
So let's say you and Jack were married, right?
Okay.
Yes. And then you were off being a girl boss.
Oh no.
Yes,
no,
and your career was flying.
No.
Yes, it is. You're flying.
care
You're
about
going all around the world.
No.
Everyone's going. We need Esther Krakue to tell us
do
what.
all of that and then still be hot. Nope.
No.
I need to take a step back. Jack, daddy, sir, you're in charge. No, I can't. I can't do like when you have a family, you have to make sacrifices. I can't. I mean, I'll still want to work, but my priority is my family and being healthy and feeling good. I'm not gonna kill myself over work just so I can say I'm a boss bitch. Who cares? I don't want to be miserable.
Do you not want to achieve the heights, Esther?
To do what?
Earn money. Have everybody go. There goes Esther. She's a boss.
No, my husband
bitch.
can earn the money. I can be the boss's wife or the boss's bitch.
The boss's bitch. There you go.
But the official bitch,
The official bitch. Thank you. Let's move on to the next one, please, Jack.
Just getting into that role play.
Yeah.
Get away from me.
Dear Francis, we spent years telling kids they can be anything they want. But some people aren't talented.
Yeah.
Some aren't smart. Is it cruel to tell people they can achieve things they never will?
Yes. Yep. I completely agree. If my child can't sing, I would tell them you are disturbing the peace. If they are bow-legged, you're never becoming a ballet dancer. If they're terrible at maths, sorry, being a mathematician is not for you. Yeah. Stop telling people. When I grew up in Ghana, so we had the way our school system worked is at the end of every term, your average was ranked in positions. So we were looking like, oh, what position? Like we want to be in the top 5 or top 6 and stuff like that. We had from a very early age, we had an understanding that life isn't fair and that everyone has different skills and competencies, and you should try and get as far as you can with what you're good at. But now it's like we have participation trophies and you're good at this. And I literally don't come from that background. Like I don't have family that, beat around the bush. Like my dad saw me after not seeing me for a year. I was like, you've become skinny. Turn around, let me see. See, this is why no one has married you. Where's your bum? Like, literally, I don't come from a family that minces their words.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually a good thing because it means when you pay compliments to your child or you say you did this well, it's meaningful.
Yeah.
You're not there to coddle your kid.
No, absolutely. But there's also everyone's on a journey. Sometimes people aren't great when they start and then they progress and then they flourish.
Yeah, but don't ask me if you're good at, don't give me a painting of a stick figure and be like, Mom, can I be Picasso?
What happens if they're 4?
Wait.
Wait.
Yeah, Picasso had to wait until he was 8 before we could see their talent. So wait. Keep going, but wait.
Keep going, but wait.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do when your kid, let's say you have a little boy and he says, Mummy, I want to be a footballer.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, I'll put a ball in front because that when they become footballers, they can take care of me.
Yeah.
So I'll put a football in front of them when they start walking.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you want food, just kick the ball. And then I'll put the food at the end of the ball and just keep bringing it. Ronaldo, Messi. That's encouragement. But if you're like, oh, Mom, I want to be a porn star, I'll take you to the church for an exorcism.
So what I'm saying, this is an interesting segue actually. What do you think about all of these OnlyFans girls? 1 in 50 American women from the age of 18 to 34 is an OnlyFans girl.
You're joking. 1 in 50?
Yes.
Oh, God.
2%.
Oh, God, that's horrifying. There are many things that have gone wrong, but mainly in the home. Their families have failed. They have failed. I went to Oman a couple of months ago, and I was really impressed because I thought, so human beings can be this civilized, and yet I go to Tesco and there's a woman in her pajamas in a dressing gown with a fag hanging off her mouth in a pair of Crocs. You know what I mean? It's just something clearly went wrong on evolutionary wise for women. 2% of the female American population under the age of 35 to be on OnlyFans. What home do you come from? What values were instilled in you to think it's okay to take your kit off in public for just to be an online prostitute, basically? That's what I think. It's pretty sad. And I think it's also rooted in a false form of feminism. Like the idea that women can be empowered because you're taking your clothes off for the male gaze is somehow empowering. It's the most pathetic thing ever. It's
Really?
so pathetic. It is.
You don't think it's empowering for a woman to get her minge out?
For your husband?
Yes.
Or
No,
for
no,
your
not for your
partner?
husband. For the
Well, because
subs.
it's not empowering, and also like I don't know why people like vaginas come standard with every model. Like, it's like literally every woman has a vagina. I don't know why they're saying.
I think
it,
that's incredibly transphobic.
but it's the truth. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's like I get these like I don't know if you've seen the bots on Twitter, like these like Asian porn models are like, oh, send me money for a pair of my boobs. I'm like, why would I do that? I could just look down.
Yeah.
But like they somehow think they're like God's gift to like womankind, and I'm like, my dear, I have the same equipment, all of it.
Mhm.
It's there.
Yes.
I don't need to pay money to see yours.
Mum said they got a cracking set.
We all do. We all do.
You all do. Well, fair
We
enough.
all do.
So, going back to this.
I can't believe this is gonna end. I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
Why?
Well, because I mean, I'm never really this like unfiltered.
Good. It's
Okay.
why we brought you on.
Okay.
Right? So, you've got your kid. Some people aren't talented. You know what? Here's the thing. People go to me like now, only now.
Mm-hmm.
They go, oh, you're talented, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, I ain't none of those things. I ain't
Okay.
talented. I ain't
That's
particularly
not
smart.
fair.
No. You know, the only real genuine talent I have is that I'm prepared to work harder than anyone else. That is it.
That is a talent. That's the discipline.
Yeah, but discipline ain't a talent.
But
But look,
well,
you know
I think
why?
it is.
It's because I know what the other options are. I've done every job,
Mm-hmm.
every shit job. I'm like, I ain't going back there. So if it means that I have to work 6 times harder than everyone else to do this,
Yeah.
I'm gonna work 6 times harder. If that's my options.
Well, that's wisdom that you've developed over the years. So it might not necessarily be smart, like being smarter, but it means being wiser, which is also like, you know, a unique characteristic. I mean, I don't think this, when it says, but some people aren't talented, some people aren't smart, is it cruel to tell people they can never achieve, they can achieve things they never will? I don't think that's the way to frame it. I just think it's, if you're willing to work hard, what's meant to happen will happen.
Agreed.
That's not to say that like you're shit or you're retarded or whatever. I just think it's, you know, you can have an ambition in mind and you can work towards it, but like just understand that some people may be naturally predisposed or better predisposed to those things. And that doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means this is as far as you can get in that, but you might get further in other things, or you might have other stronger competencies.
Do you know what I also believe as well is I believe that, you know, you will go into, let's say you want to go into something, whatever it is, let's say journalism for one of it, but so you will get into journalism, but then you will learn skills in journalism that mean you segue into something else. That means
exactly,
you
yeah.
segue into something else, and then you will find your niche.
Yeah, exactly. I think that. I mean, I don't know if I'll always stay in like media doing what I'm doing, or if all the crap jobs that I had to have before I got to this point is, you know, kind of my journey. I don't know. I'm open to the idea.
I think you should be a therapist.
I think so, but I think people might ask for refunds.
No, I think you should market yourself.
Like sometimes I have my friends being like, "Why hasn't he messaged me back?" I was like, "Because you were a hoe," and then they just stop talking to me. And I'm like, but I'm being honest with you. I'm your friend. What should I say?
Because you're a hoe.
You were a hoe at the time.
Oh, what? Because you slept with her on the first. He slept with.
Other hoe shit. But it's just like
No, come on, no, you can't say other hoe shit. What does that mean?
Well, I just like, you know, maybe close your legs. Like, and they're just like, how could you say that to me? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like,
Oh, what? So they slept? No, you need to clarify. What do you mean by? Obviously, I know what close your legs means, but
Yeah.
what do you mean by that?
well, I mean, it's just like you don't know this person. This person doesn't even know he doesn't even know your surname. And yet he's been all up in your business. And he was like, oh, he didn't message me back because you were a hoe.
Oh, what, you slept with him too
but
quickly?
My language is hopeful because you were a hoe, but I'm saying, but you don't need to be.
I'm going to be honest with you. The
In
word
Jesus'
hoe
name,
kind of
amen.
negates that message of
In
hope.
Jesus' name, amen. Yes, you were a hoe, now you have hope.
Now you have hope.
Yeah, exactly.
What does it mean to be a hoe, Esther?
Oh, all sorts of things. I think it's just giving undeserving people access in a sexual context. And I think, I don't know, like, you know, back in the day, like in the 20s, if you were in certain societies, being a hoe was like showing your ankles,
Oh,
your
yeah.
wrist, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the Overton window has changed. But I think once we get into sort of intimate sexual things, that's definitely like, I'm not saying if you do that, you're a hoe, but like that's definitely crossing a line because it basically just means giving as many, or giving like people that don't have any irrelevant people intimate access. And that could be like showing pictures. Like, have you seen these girls on Instagram? They'll show pictures of their bum cheeks and they'll have like a Shakespeare quote trying to be deep. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was too busy staring at your uterus. It's like no one says it's like, I'm not looking at your quote. I'm looking at like your bum hole, which you have kindly presented to me on Instagram. So yeah, it's just, I think the best way to describe it is, giving irrelevant people unfettered access to things that they really shouldn't have access to in an intimate sexual context.
Okay. That's fair. But what about boyfriends and girlfriends?
That's not being a hoe.
Okay.
But I think even like today, like you have people that go on dates. Oh my gosh, they'll be dating for like months and then they're like, oh, finally, will you be my girlfriend? I'm like, hey, my brother, second date, I'm your girlfriend. I'm not leaving my house to be dating before you're like, I'm your girlfriend. And then it's just like people have
second date.
Yes, because I'm seeing you again. So I'm only, okay, maybe not girlfriend, but I'm only seeing you exclusively if I go on more than one date with you.
Really?
Like what? I don't have the attention span to be focusing on 5-6 guys. That's ludicrous.
But that's how it's done now.
No, absolutely not. And I should put on makeup and then when you finish, he has the audacity to say, let's split the bill.
Have you been with a gentleman who splits the bill?
Yes, I never saw him again. He was actually really upset. He was like, you didn't kiss me. And I'm like, you need to lose my number.
Really?
Yeah.
What type of gentleman was he?
French.
He was French. Well, that's your first problem.
I knew you were going to say that.
What did you expect?
Well, I was
That's
trying
not
to be
real man.
open-minded.
He's not a real man.
Well, apparently the first lady is
What?
of France.
Yeah, well, that's true.
No, it's
I love the fact that everyone says she's a man without actually looking into a fact that she was a teacher who slept with a student.
Exactly, and chased him around France. I was
Yeah.
like, that's not. She may be a sexual predator, but she most of have had a pair of balls when she was born.
Yeah, I mean, Candace Owens is a full-blown retard.
I don't know what happened. I mean, look, in my defense, I didn't really follow her that intimately, her career or her stance on things. But I'm like, I don't really understand why you're exerting so much energy on this. Like, surely the bigger issue is the fact that like she was following her her son's classmate around the country and having an inappropriate relationship with him. Like that's I don't care if she's a bloke. It's not. Anyway.
Yeah. So it's about being realistic.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's see with the next one. Dear Francis, my town is gentrifying. Fancy cafes, expensive boutiques, people jogging in designer activewear. It's nice, sure, but it doesn't feel like home anymore. Is this you, Jack? Is it okay to resent change even when it's progress?
Yes, I guess. I mean, it depends on your definition of progress. Also, where is this? I think he's talking about Walthamstow, which has recently been gentrified. I mean, I seriously, last time I went to Walthamstow, there was not a single stabbing, and I was like, where are my mandem?
Do you know there is a Ghanaian bakery? Not Ghanaian. There is, I think there's I can't remember what country it is.
Yeah.
Bakery, African country bakery. It's not Ghanaian. It's another country.
Is it East or West Africa?
I think it's East Africa.
Ethiopian, they do good bakeries.
No, it's not. It's a country that you wouldn't. Anyway, it's called Suba. Really? Oh my sweet Jesus!
What on Walthamstow on the high street?
No, just off it. It's off it. It's SUBA. This is the best bakery in the UK.
Okay, I'm gonna make a note of that.
No, like your people made me fat.
But the thing is, wherever they're from.
Yeah,
but
wherever they're from. It's oh my god.
How do you get there though? Do you take the train?
Yeah, I take the tube.
Yeah, because I used to take the train and then I started driving because I was coming from like just outside.
Why are you going to Walthamstow?
I had friends there.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Mahmoud and Amandem.
Okay, so you were
respect.
Yeah.
And now it's like there's a Gales.
Yeah.
It's so gentrified. I'm like, oh my gosh.
This will make you laugh. So, Gales. So you know everybody in Walthamstow is incredibly woke.
Yes, of course.
So they had a protest against Gales because they were supporting the genocide.
Not because they will push up the property prices.
No.
Honestly, these people deserve everything they get.
I'm like, okay, you can be what? Really? The Gales is the thing you're going to draw the line with?
Exactly. And like McDonald's, I'm like, really? Yeah. Not paying your rent or your bills? Anyway.
So...
I mean, yeah, it's you can resent change. I don't know about your definition of progress. Just go somewhere else. Like... Because it sounds like your air is about to get a lot more expensive anyway. So you're very right to resent it because it's also your pocket is going to resent it as well. So,
but also if you're on property there,
Yeah, it's gonna go well. It depends. If you try and rent it out, there are all sorts of rules now, and it makes it more difficult. I know people that like are wary to rent out their properties because you just have like tenants that just won't leave. Like it's my right to not leave.
Yeah, that is true.
So it's just become a bit of a catch-22.
It has indeed. So you're thinking about moving to America,
I am, yes.
and where are you thinking?
Florida. Well, I wanted to stay with the death penalty. I remember we spoke about this because I just feel like if you F around, you should find out. In Old
Really?
Sparky, which is what the electric chair in Florida is called.
Oh, do they still have Old Sparky?
They do. DeSantis is not getting rid of it. He's not getting rid of it. It's become a bit of a running joke now. So yeah, I mean, the US is an interesting place. I don't know how somehow, like, I'm liberal in Ghana, I'm somehow conservative in the UK. I don't know how I'll be in the US. Maybe just normal.
I think you might be normal. It depends where. I think in Florida you'd be kind of centrist.
Yeah.
Same with Texas. Texas, you'd be depend where you go in Texas. In Austin, you'd be to the right.
Really?
Yeah,
Austin is like pretty liberal now.
Yeah, Austin is liberal because Austin is it's a university town. So you get lots of, and it's also the capital of Texas. So you get a lot of bureaucrats there.
Okay.
So it's bureaucrats and people who work at university. So it tends to be quite a blue town.
I didn't know that.
No, that's true. But in California, you'd be far right.
Yeah, I'll be a Nazi. Yeah, the first black Nazi. Ha! I got my credentials.
I'm gonna. I think Larry Elder was the first black Nazi.
Really? Oh yes, that's true. Damn. They really do
You could be the
number on
first female black Nazi.
him. Yeah, but I feel like they've diluted it now. I don't want second best.
You know, everyone's a Nazi.
I don't want to
now.
be a diversity hire. I want to.
You know,
it proper.
what does it feel like being a black Nazi?
I don't know because like my German's not very good. So that's a bit awkward. I don't do the salute very well because I have a dodgy elbow, so I just have to keep it bent.
So you can't do a proper Elon salute.
No, I can't. No. Elon is another strange one. He's become like a darling of the right, and I'm just like, you do realize this guy thinks he's like the second coming of Genghis Khan. He's like on his like 13th child,
Yes.
and no one's saying anything. I strongly believe if you have more than like 5 or 6 children, especially more than one woman, like you don't remember all their names.
No, of course not.
He has more kids than like Man United has like a first squad.
That's true. They're probably better at football than Man United's first squad. However,
I hate to say that it's true as a United fan.
But however, so I know what you're saying about Elon, that he's got, at what point do you say enough is enough?
And it's just like, why? I think the right is in many ways like the left. I hate using these terms anyway, but it's just, why do they just champion anyone that says one thing that they like?
Yeah.
I find it strange. It's very bizarre. Like, just because he's like, anyway, it's just.
My favorite for me is Russell Brand when everybody.
Yeah, everyone was like, yeah, he's great, and I was like, are you sure about that? And it was just like, and it was mainly Americans as well. They kind of led the charge. Like, he's wonderful. I was like, listen, I used to reluctantly listen to this guy on the BBC on my way to school. You might want to check that. Or like everyone lost their minds. Like Tommy Robinson. I was like, we're talking about girls that were raped, and like somehow he's been like put into the conversation. And then I was getting abused for not tweeting about him. And I just said, I've had my Twitter for like 6 years. I have never mentioned this person. Why am I going to start now?
Maybe you should put a hashtag free Tommy in your bio.
Well, yeah, I mean, oh God. It's so strange. I don't know. People just, maybe it's just online kind of warps your perception of reality, but I don't understand why people are so quick to just be like, oh, this person said something I like, therefore they're a hero. I think Elon is weird.
Of course he is. He's autistic.
Well, yeah, he's weird, but it's also like everyone's like trying to shoehorn him into every conversation. I'm like, I didn't vote for this man. I don't know why he should be relevant in my life. Like seriously, he's not even politically accountable.
Yeah.
There's nothing interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
He's just like a rich guy with a big mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's not just a rich guy.
I mean, he's brilliant. He's obviously brilliant at what he does. I mean, when I worked in France, I worked with because I worked at an IT training center.
Why do you work in France?
My year abroad, I didn't want to be a student, so I wanted to work because I was sick of being broke. I just don't like being broke, especially as a student. It's depressing. Anyway, so I worked at this IT training center in France, which was for disabled adults. And a lot of my students were like really high functioning autistic people like Elon. And I was like, they're brilliant, they're great at what they're doing, at what they do. But some of them are also like knocking at my door at 2 a.m. and be like, would you like a cup of tea? I'm like, Jean, this is not appropriate. We can have a cup of tea tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'm going to bed. That sort of thing. And it's like, but if he had like,
did they come around for
millions
tea?
They did. But if they had like millions of people on Twitter like rooting them on, yeah, go knock on that door, get her to make you a cup of tea, they would keep doing it. Like, you're just egging on someone whose like understanding of like social cues is a bit off.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels like, a teenage boy who's getting all the attention right now from the ladies online.
Yeah. I mean, there's times with
get
Elon where I'm like, mate,
Yeah.
you just need someone there just to go, mate, put down the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Put down.
When he was like, what did he say? Like, the AFD is the only party that can save Germany. I was like, and when did you hear of the AFD?
Yeah.
Like, yesterday. Like, are we serious? And then it's like he blows up the news. Like, Elon Musk says this. I don't care.
Yeah. The thing is like, as a man who looks more than a little bit Jewy, when
Is that what it says in your passport?
yeah, I get slightly nervous when I hear the words German nationalism.
Really?
Yes.
But would it take, I mean...
German
I don't
nationalism and people who look like me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't, but the thing is, I feel like it's a bit diluted now.
What do you mean diluted?
I think they're just now fighting for like sausages and bread.
And let me tell you, those boys, like, once they win, they like, yeah.
We have to keep winning, yeah.
You have to keep winning. We're going to make Germany pure again.
Yeah, exactly.
And then once you start with that, it's like...
We'll have to see. I mean, listen, this is the thing. This is why, like, I don't pontificate on German politics because I don't know very much about it. But like, when you have Elon Musk like, tweeting about it, who also doesn't know very much about it, and then the Independent and the Guardian, all these newspapers are picking it up. I'm like, do your journalists not have anything better to do?
No.
Anyway. And then they complain about the influence of like billionaires in politics. I'm like, yeah, you're amplifying it. You could actually cover like public policy, but you're covering the millionaire's ramblings on his app. And then complaining about his growing influence. You're giving him free promo.
That's very true.
It's very weird. And they haven't like connected the dots, by the way, but these are supposed to be our moral superiors.
It's a good point.
Full of gems.
All right. So, so basically suck it up and then move out.
Yeah.
Or sell your place. Okay. I think that you'd be good at this.
Okay.
Dear Francis, my neighbour parks half an inch into my driveway. It's just enough to make pulling out a hassle, but small enough that complaining makes me seem like the petty one. Is there a subtle way to get them to stop?
So this is where my mother comes in because I thought I was going to be subtle in this story I'm going to describe to you now. My neighbour, who I think hates me because he decided to get his 7-year-old son some drums. Mm-hmm. A drum kit, and his the window to his door to his room is right opposite mine.
Yeah.
So imagine I'm trying to do some work, for example, write or take a nap, and I just hear I'm like, I'm in hell. So I subtly try to say, can you get him to stop or whatever, and nothing changed. Oh, he's just a kid. Okay. And then my mother came from Ghana. And I said, oh, Mom, I didn't sleep very well. My neck is hurting. I was like, why? What's wrong? My daughter. And he was like, the neighbor's son was just playing drums. I swear to God, the next day, for some reason, my mom sees them walking back into the house. No, our mail accidentally got dropped off there and they bring it to our house. And he comes with his son. I was like, hey, you are the one who has been playing drums. And this little boy paled. It's like, how did she know that? Yeah, because I can hear you. You're always making noise. And then from then, it just stopped. And I was like, my mom has the magic touch. I just think you should have a no-nonsense approach. Just be like, the first time you can just be like, hey, I'm having a little bit of trouble pulling out. Could you please stop? And the next time, hey, hello, gung, gung, gung,
When is it? Because I feel that you've got those gears in your personality.
I usually I prefer to get someone else to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah.
I do, because the thing is, I'm like, I pride myself on not being crazy until I have to be. Like, I remember, I don't know, have you ever heard of fox mating?
Yes.
It sounds like a woman's being beaten up.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard like a fox, I think this was around May, that's like the mating season.
No, mating seasons are I think in November.
Is it November?
I think so, yeah.
I thought it was May. Anyway, but my brother has a really thick cricket bat.
Yeah.
Outside of his door. And I heard like at 2 a.m, this like sounded like a woman was being beaten up in my street. So I'm in my nightdress and I take his cricket bat and I go outside the house like, motherfucker, I'm about to fuck you up. But stop shit. And my brother's like, what are you doing? And I was like, can't you hear? Somebody's being beaten up. So I'm like literally in the middle of my street, like looking like for motherfucker to fuck up. Now, I wouldn't ordinarily do this, but because my crazy threshold had been triggered, I had to. But normally I would just be like, oh, could you please stop? She's got a bit of a bruise.
And then what makes you go full?
I don't know. Just something triggers me. Like if it keeps happening usually, or if they insult me. I've done some really petty things when I didn't need to. Just because
What's the
someone got
worst thing you've done?
really petty?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can legally say it. I don't think it's no. I can't. I don't think I can
Come
legally
on.
say it. What have I done? Gosh, I'm actually really good. Like I tell off Christos for stealing like bags from supermarkets. Like he just doesn't pay. He just like takes it and puts stuff.
I mean,
in
that's
the-
technically theft.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't really do like I don't do that. I'm very good. I don't know what's the pettiest thing I've ever done. It's probably really bad though.
I bet.
Oh yeah, some guy accused me of taking a picture of his wife on my phone when I was on the tube because he was opposite and I was doing something.
Yeah.
And I think I was looking at something on my face because I was just going into the studio. And he was like, "Why are you taking pictures of my wife?" And they had a foreign accent. I don't know, maybe like Eastern European. And I was like, and I kept like I said nice. Oh no, I wasn't. I was just checking something on my phone. And he was like, "No, you're lying. You were taking pictures of my wife." And I was like, "Why would I take a picture of your ugly wife? I don't want my screen to crack." And thankfully, it was my next stop, so I just got up and left. But I was like, you can't. I'm sorry, this is London. You must understand the rules. She was ugly as well. Ugly hoe. Anyway, but she told her husband off after that.
Okay.
Because he kept insisting that I was taking pictures of his wife, and I wasn't. I was
You
like,
just.
why would I take a picture of my ugly wife?
Did you say that?
Yeah, I
to
didn't want
his
my screen
face?
to crack. Yeah, he was shocked.
Yeah, I bet he was shocked.
Because I told him I had it.
Why would I take a picture of your ugly wife?
It's true. She's very unappealing.
What was up? And then what was his reaction when you said that?
He was just shocked. Like he was like, he didn't say anything else.
And what did his
He just
wife?
huffed. She looked down. I think she was trying to calm him down, but she was in the line of fire because he was defending her honor.
And then you just went all in.
Yep. He kept insisting.
Do you think he was having a little bit of a flirt?
With his wife next to him. I think his mother-in-law was also in this. There was an old lady that was with them as well. And I think that would be a bit shameless. I don't think that was his type.
Really?
Yeah.
And so you just went.
Well, yes, because I tried. I tried to negotiate and tell him. I tried to put him at ease. I wasn't taking pictures of his wife.
There we go. Next. Dear Francis, there's an old man on my street who watches everyone. Not in a creepy way. He just knows things.
Okay.
People roll their eyes, but part of me thinks we need more people like him. Are nosy neighbours secretly keeping the world in check?
You see, before Nosy Neighbours, we had Indian aunties.
Mm-hmm.
And they've now migrated to WhatsApp, which is where they police everyone. He knows things, but what does he do with that information? Do you know what I mean? Does he like terrorize the neighbors? Does he threaten to call the council? Does he keep everyone in check? Does he just tell the kids to get off his lawn? Does he see who's chucking rubbish into someone else's bin? Like, what does he do? I need to know more. Are nosy neighbors secretly keeping the world in check? No. I mean, I think one good thing about nosy neighbors would be to shame people that dress inappropriately.
Ooh.
That would be a great role. I
Okay.
would fund that public role. I would get like a megaphone and be like, "Excuse me, I can see your bomb. Return to your." Like I would do that. That would be my job. Yeah.
So what do you mean by people dressing inappropriately?
Like don't leave your house in your night dress or pajamas or anything that's meant to be worn in the home. Don't.
But having said that, you did that with a cricket bat.
Yeah, because to defend a woman who is being beaten up by her husband.
Okay, so there's caveats to this rule.
Exactly. That was an emergency situation. If I'd put on proper clothes, she might have like clocked in 2 more punches.
Okay, yeah.
Don't wear Crocs.
I agree with that, actually.
What
They're
else?
a fucking abomination.
If you leave your house naked like Bianca Censori, straight to an asylum because you're mentally unwell.
But what happens if you like Bianca Censori? You have a cracking body.
Fine, but people that leave their houses without shoes or clothes are mentally unwell and they need to be sent to an asylum.
Yeah.
Because they're cosplaying as normal people. Like clearly you're mentally unwell and shouldn't be out in the general public. What else? People that are making out, like cheating on their partners. Like so you see someone like in a corner on the side of the street, like making out with someone that's not their husband. Excuse me, infidelity, fornication. Stop it.
Do you reckon you would be you sound like you're auditioning for this role.
I would be very good at it. That's what I'm saying. And
Really?
if the council were willing to reduce my council tax to do that, I would be willing. Yes.
And you would be willing to get up in everyone's grill.
Absolutely. I might have a barge pole if I needed to like pry 2 people together. I just like through my window and just like, excuse me. Just like, Move them apart. You are under the age of 16. It's like smack the guy.
What about revealing clothing?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but so there's like, where do we stand on revealing clothing?
You see, the thing is, I think like we should bring back shame.
Mm.
So I had some girls in my school that were going to Ghana one summer to volunteer, and they're like, "Oh, Esther, do you have any advice?" And I was like, "Yeah, don't show, like, keep your kid on, basically." And they're like, "Why? It's my right." And it's like, your right is in your father's house. Don't go in the, because we have this idea of like respecting the public, like leaving your house in a state of undress or dressed inappropriately. It's not just it's you're disrespecting the public because everyone has to see you dress in that way. So I think we should bring back, shame.
You think we should bring back shame?
Yeah, we should. Shaming, yeah. I would sit there with a microphone, SHAME, shame. It'd be a soundtrack that would just keep playing as they walked across the road.
Okay, but what if a woman walks out with shall we say, a provocatively high skirt, great legs? Where do we stand?
I don't care. Put them away.
At what point does a skirt become acceptable? Are we?
If I don't think
is it going to be like school where we're starting to measure people?
Yeah, I know, like 2 inches. Well, the thing is, my rule is if you bend over and I can see your uterus, or there's a like likelihood that I would see your uterus, then it's too far.
Really?
Yeah, it's too high.
And what about with the tops?
Same. I have no patience for the tops. I'm just like, put it away.
Really?
Yeah.
What happens if they got a cracking?
It has to be like
set?
2 inches away from the nipple.
So you were going 2 inches away from the nipple?
Yeah. But obviously you have to see, because some people have weird shaped boobs, some people are like teardrops, some people are like long, and so you have to. But I'm just like, just cover it.
Have you never seen a woman with a low cut top with magnificent breasts, and you thought, I mean, fair play?
I have, but then I'll say, you know what? I've actually had this situation. I'm like, but you know what? It's just a shame. Look at this person. This mad guy. He doesn't deserve to see that. Everybody's seeing it now. It's just It's like throwing your diamonds on the floor for everyone to see, and they're like, oh, I'll pick it up later. It's like, it's undeserving people don't need to see it.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's the reason you are conservative.
I'm not really though. It's a scarcity. Like, it's not a scarcity, but it's the principle of scarcity in economics. If it's rarer and more beautiful and more desired, you don't just put it out there for everyone to. That's why like Chanel never goes on sale.
Does Chanel never go on sale?
No, or LV or any of these other brands. They never go on sale. Like their bags and stuff and their core products.
Never.
It never goes on sale. Why would you like put a Birkin on sale? The principle of a sale is you're trying to get rid of it, so you're willing to compromise the quality.
No, you're willing to compromise the price.
The price, yeah, exactly. You're willing to compromise the price to try and get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know that something is so valuable that you never have to compromise the price, then you won't, because then you'd lose money if you did. And it's the same thing with women. If you think you're so valuable and you're so great, why would you compromise your value by giving useless people unfettered access? It doesn't make sense.
But there's a capitalist way where you just like, the more access, the more views I get, the better.
Well, yes, but that's perverse because first of all, it's short-lived. Like you're going to age, and so you're prioritizing short-term gain for long-term loss. There's no investment there. Once you age out, it's fine. And no, I'm sorry, like I was about to say Jeff Bezos is not looking for hoes, but anyway.
I mean, did you see Zuck? He had a cheeky little look.
Oh my God. I mean, like he was just, because like, how could you not?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't think they made AIs that realistic. They're now checking out girls' boobs.
I mean, I just don't understand. She literally wore a bra to the inauguration. I don't understand. And no one said anything. Like,
I mean, people did say something. Megyn Kelly said a lot of things.
She said a lot. But like, Jeff Bezos should have said, like, here's the thing. Your partner, as much as we don't talk about this, is a representation of you in many ways. If I chose to date Nick Cannon, you would rightly think I'm crazy and stupid. Because I'm like, which self-respecting woman would date a man who like is just breeding like a cockroach? And it's the same thing for Jeff Bezos. Like, he shouldn't have let her leave. I mean, he's not her master, but just be like, you're not following me dressed like that. Absolutely not.
But she just went, I'm doing it anyway.
Well, yeah. And to be fair, like, she has more plastic in her face than Tupperware. So I think she has other concerns.
Do you think she's sexy?
Absolutely not. Nope.
Not at all?
Not at all. Not even a little.
There's a lot of people who do.
They need to go to Specsavers.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Esther.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to get in so much trouble.
But it's been great. If people want to follow you online, if they want to find your work.
Yeah, it's just Esther Krakue. Or C Krakue, I think, on my Instagram. But yeah, I'm all over.
You're all over.
Yeah.
Okay, and people are gonna see your writings and be like, this really doesn't match with
up.
it.
Yeah, exactly. I sound so measured, and I'm like, stay at home, dads. My libido will never recover.
Yeah. There we go. Esther, thanks for coming on. Guys, make sure to like and subscribe to the show. Tell somebody about it if you enjoy it. I'm doing, I don't know, this is probably going out afterwards, but make sure to follow me on all the social media. You come and see me do stand-up. All right, take care. See you soon. See you next time.